Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us once again. I know this past year has been a hectic year, and when in terms of real estate, with the prices going completely up, inventory being low. So today, what we want to talk about is where do we see the market going in our real estate industry here going forward for 2022. Once again, I'm Hector Aguilar.
And I'm Ben, your agent with the Aguilar Realty team.
That's right. Here at eXp Realty, we want to thank you for joining us once again. Today's topic is where is the market going in 2022? We opened up this video talking a little bit about what we experienced these last 12 months, which was, in a nutshell, a little bit of mayhem, right? Right now we're in a seller's market that absolutely is what we call a super seller's market.
Yes.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit of a slide here to kind of emphasize our point. Once again, where is the real estate market headed in 2022? The first thing that we want to talk about was, the seller's market. Historically, we've seen that, back in 1999, going back as far, about 20 years ago, we were looking at properties that, the inventory was 4 to 5 months out. Then, of course, you see we experienced 2006 to 2010. Inventories were way up. It was a buyer's market. Buyers had a ton of selections, and typically what happens with that is, prices tend to come down as well. Now we've seen today, we're starting to see, in these last couple years alone, we've started to see the inventory go down between, going from 5-month inventory to 3-month inventory. And we've dubbed it a super seller's market, right? So
Yeah.
What does that mean is that there's definitely less selection available for the amount of buyers that are available in the market today. And I'm sure that many buyers have experienced the same thing this year. I know many of my colleagues, as well as Ben, has experienced this year. We're out showing properties to our buyers. They're qualified. They're ready to, they want to buy, they want to move, but there's so much competition, right? So sellers are definitely in a distinct advantage. I think that, the home sales forecast for this coming 2022, honestly, is going to increase. I think realistically, it's not going to slow down. I think realistically, we're seeing, the units that sold for 2022, 6.8 million in Q3, according to the National Association of Realtors. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, here you see in the blue bar, they feel that they say that we had 7.5 million units that sold in 2020. So, we're definitely seeing the increase continue to go up. And I think that's going to continue for sellers, right? I think sellers are going to be in a good position where there's a lot of buyers still in the market. The interest rates are still relatively low. And I think that we're going to start continuing to see an increase in sales coming first quarter 2022. Will it be crazy like before? I don't think so. I think that the market's going to kind of settle down a little bit. And honestly, I think we're going to start seeing a more traditional forecast as far as increase in value, right? The average, we've got Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the Mortgage Bankers Association, Zellman, the National Association of Realtors. They forecast that the increase in value of homes is going to be somewhere between as little as 2.8%, as you see here, year over year, and as high as 7.5%.
Right.
So originally the average, I think it's going to be about 5%, as we're seeing here. And I know that's a little bit of a difference from what sellers have experienced. I think what was it been this past year that the increase in value was somewhere between 18 to 19%, if we're not mistaken, right?
Yes, correct.
It was pretty high. So
Yeah.
I think things are going to start settling down in that sense. And why do I think that is because I think that rates are going to start going up.
Yeah.
We're starting to see that right now, right? Our mortgage banker is telling us, hey, the rates have gone up, 1/8 of a percent, 1/4%. Although as of today, I want to say they're somewhere in the 3%, somewhere either in the lower threes or high twos. But I think moving forward, we're definitely going to see an adjustment in the interest rate, and that's going to impact, how many buyers are going to qualify. The cost of money is going to go up. So if you are in the market to buy, I mean, buying sooner is actually better. I don't think the market's going to flatten out. I don't see the prices dropping drastically where people are going to be, dropping prices $50, $60, $100,000. But I think properties are going to sell either at asking price or above. Not too much more than that.
I do want to make a point here too, Hector. Reason why you guys see the home price forecast is that in spring and summer, you guys probably might remember that appraisers were like, it's an all-time high when it comes to appraiser, right, Hector?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now, values are at an all-time high altogether. I mean, I think they've surpassed what they were at, back in the mid 2000s, up until 2006. We've definitely recovered all that equity, and we're seeing that values have gone up tremendously. But I think a lot of buyers have been maybe taking a step back, maybe said, hey, you know what, I'm going to take a step back for the winter. I'm going to kind of wait to see what the market does. And we've kind of started to see that in the market. Now we're starting to see maybe 5 to 6 offers on our listings instead of 15 or 20. So that's a little bit of an indication that home prices are still going to go up slightly. I think there's still competition out there, but buyers are going to have a lot more opportunity. So great point, Ben. I think moving into the next year, traditionally sellers, the market shows, according to Realtor.com, that the majority of the sellers are going to start entering the market once again.
yes,
Um, early in the next couple 6 months. And honestly, we've started seeing it now, right, Ben? We've started seeing some inventory go up here in the
yes,
month of November, December.
yes.
And so to proves to the point that, Realtor.com says that, sellers are going to plan on listing in the next 6 months. We've already started to see a good 20% of those come to market this winter. We see that 93% have already taken steps towards listing their home. In other words, they're preparing. They're organizing, they're decluttering, they're depersonalizing, they're cleaning up their house in preparation for early next year.
And good to know too, Hector. If you are those 93%, we did a great training video on how to prepare your home to list. So definitely, check that out if you're in that 93% to watch that video on how you can prepare yourself to get top dollar, right? So
I absolutely, Ben. Thank you. We did do a training on this, 6 or 7 steps that are key things that are going to improve your home to make it marketable, to make it ready for market. So definitely check it out. You can find it on our YouTube channel.
we'll link it. We'll link it on.
Yeah, we'll definitely link it to this video so you can check it out. Okay. One of the other things that we wanted to talk about today was that we've started seeing is, according to Danielle Hale, the chief economist at Realtor.com, they say listings have risen for the second week in a row
Crazy.
with a recent market survey. So, again, giving us indications that there's more inventory coming to the market, which will mean more options for buyers. Moving on, one of the things kind of according to what Ms. Hale said in the previous slide is, we're starting to see inventory come on, right? So traditionally, year over year, we've seen like the spring and summer months be the months where people put their listings on the market. Honestly, this year, it's just not the case. We're starting to see listings again in November and December increase. And like we mentioned before in the previous slide, this coming winter, I think a lot of sellers are going to enter the market. They're going to want to sell their homes and either move up, maybe move down in terms of less home, or they're going to move out of state. We have been seeing a big exodus out of California into other neighboring states that are probably lower in cost. Many states come to mind like Arizona,
Texas.
Texas, correct, Idaho, New Mexico. We've seen people go to Oregon and Washington. Traditionally states that are less expensive, and honestly, I think there's a lot of long-term owners in our current market that are probably ready to make a move out of California, right? For whatever reason, whether it's financial or political, right? So we are going to start seeing a lot more inventory hit the market already this coming winter in the months of January and February, and also into March.
So question.
Yeah.
In this slide. So obviously we've been getting a lot of buyers, at least I have, saying, hey, Ben, I want to wait till next year to start buying. If you guys are buyers and you're looking at this, and you're saying next year, well, I think you guys should prepare yourself for April, May, and June, as you can see here, because sellers are preparing themselves to put themselves back in the market. Would you say that correctly? So
I think that's correct. I think honestly they should start preparing now because we're starting to see that inventory hit the market, not traditionally in April, May, June like traditionally is, but we're starting to see it now January, February. I think people are going to start putting their homes on the market sooner rather than the spring months. But yeah, being prepared, the sooner you do it, the better. Plus, buyers are going to be able to take advantage of the low interest rates now. I think rates are definitely going to go up. Like I said, right now they're hovering around the 3%. But as we'll see later on in this video, you're going to see that rates are projected to go up almost even 1%. So let's kind of take a look at that now.
Did you want to also mention that the loan limit will go up later, or?
Well, the loan limits have already gone up. There's already loan limits in certain counties have already gone up, and what we call the high price indexed counties like LA County, Orange County, even Riverside and San Bernardino County. The loan limits have gone up. In fact, even the FHA loan limits have gone up. So now a buyer has a little bit more purchasing power, whereas before, we were showing houses in, let's say, for example, Ontario in the mid 550s. Well, an FHA buyer couldn't finance it because the maximum loan limit for that county used to be 477,250, and now it's in excess, just a little above 562,000. So again, giving buyers more purchase power. Now in LA and Orange County, it is much higher because, of course, the median home price in those counties is much higher as well. So again, giving buyers more purchasing power. So the interest rates are still low. Loan limits just went up, both for FHA and conventional. So, if you are interested in buying and you're looking to get pre-approved, reach out to us. Ben and I can definitely put you in touch with a few lenders that would kind of help you understand where you are as far as your income, your credit, what you would qualify for, and get you prepared now. So when, turn to the new year, you're ready to start looking at houses and making some offers. So yeah, the rates, the loan limits have gone up, giving buyers more buying power. So thanks for pointing that out, Ben.
Yes.
Again, talking about interest rates, let's look at the update. Here are some historical perspective on today's mortgage rates, right? We see that in 2018, they were hovering in between the 4.5% to 5%.
Wow.
In 2016, we saw a drop somewhere between, 4 to 4, and it looks like between 4, 3.8% to about maybe 4.5%. In 2017, we see that they covered just above 4% and fell under 4% at times. And then in 2019, we see that, they were around the 4.5%, kind of hovered just above the 3%. And here in 2020, I mean, we experienced this all this past year, right? In 2020, they dropped because of the pandemic, right? They went from 3.5 as little as, I want to say, like the lowest I
That's
saw.
crazy.
That's crazy, right? It was like at 2 point, I want to say 2.5%. Some of my clients who had really good FICO scores were even able to get it at like 2.75, or pardon me, 2.375.
Wow.
And now we're starting to see in 2021 a slight increase, right? We started in the mid, like 2.75. It hovered in March a little above 3%. Then it dropped back down in May and June. It looks like it kind of stayed steady. We saw a little bit of a dip in August. And then from September on, we've started to see the interest rate tick up, again, staying around the 3%. So just kind of wanted to go over that, show buyers that
Take
historically
advantage.
are still really low. They got to take advantage of it, right?
Yes.
Just looking at, from January 2020 up until today, you see here that in January of 2020, interest rates were about 3.7%.
Yeah.
And if you ran through the year, you see that a steady decrease through the end of December. And when 2021 hit, we saw a little bit of a blip up to about 2.9%, and it dropped. Then we saw it go up to about 3.3%, like in April, dropped again in May. And now we're starting to see, starting August, September, October, and November, we're starting to see a steady increase. And we believe, and so does NAR, the Mortgage Bankers Association, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, that those interest rates are going to continue to go up. How much higher? It's hard to say, but let's look at some of their projections, right? We see here the projections for quarter 22, first quarter. Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, and NAR, they seem to think that interest rates are going to hover between, it looks like, 3.2 to 3.4%, an average of about 3.3%. We're seeing in quarters two, it looks like it's going to hover between 3.2 to 3.5%. So the average of all four would be around 3.4%. And you can see steadily that these are the projections that all the financial institutions, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, are projecting interest rates to be. So how does that impact you as a buyer? Well, the higher the interest rate, the less you qualify for. And so that's why one of the reasons why you should get prepared today to qualify and buy is because the interest rates are still at the lower 3%. And if your credit's good enough or high enough, your FICO scores are high enough, you might even be able to get a 30-year fix under 3%. So
What do you tell buyers, Hector?
Go
Hector,
ahead.
what do you tell buyers that they say, I get the mortgage rates are low, but I still want to wait till next year? What do you
You
tell
know,
those?
and I understand that. I think buyers have been kind of burned out a little bit, right? They've been out looking in the market for 3 4 months. They want to take a step back. They want to see what the market does, um, and I respect that. Any buyer that has experience that is probably thinking the same thing. But the truth is that as interest rates go up, your purchasing power drops, and so many buyers are saying, "Hey, the market's going to drop, the prices are going to come down," and we don't really see that. In previous slides, we went over the fact that we're still going to see many units of sales of properties sell. I think a lot of sellers are going to go onto the market this coming first quarter, so there'll be more options. So the truth is as the sooner you can buy and secure your interest rate, the better. Because even if you buy a home that's, let's say, $100,000 less, but the interest rate is 1 full point higher, I mean, you're paying more money for less house or less
Yeah,
money, or pardon me, for the less price, but it's still costing you more money over time. You're going to pay way more money than if you secure an interest rate that's lower right now. So I think it's a good time to buy now. And just wanted to kind of go over, how home prices are impacted by the rising mortgage rates, right? So
that's a
we
good
see here
slide.
that as interest rates drop, we see increases in sales, right? And as the prices, pardon me, the interest rate increase a little bit, we see a little bit of a dip in home sales, right? And then we see here, in 2020, we looked at interest rates being again in the 3% on average. The market was just tremendous. So um, again, I think if you're a buyer and you want to buy a home, buying it sooner at the lower interest rate is going to be much better, less expensive, and it's going to be cheaper for you over the long run. And for home sellers, putting your home on the market, the sooner the better, and not waiting to those spring months, kind of getting ahead of the game, is going to be an advantage to you, because there's definitely buyers that are still looking in the market even today. Right now we're December 15th, right? We're 10 days away from a big holiday. We're 15 days away from the new year. And, there's still buyers out there. We're still showing buyers. We're still getting under contract. So as a seller, if you're thinking about selling, the sooner you get under contract and start marketing your home with a professional like ourselves, or a qualified agent, the more opportunities you're going to have to get qualified buyers through your home and get the most money for your property. So,
And not to mention, that's another great video, by the way. If you guys want to check out for how to sell in the winter months, fall and winter, fall and winter is the best season to sell your home. We're going to go ahead and put that link also, right, Hector, for those that are interested in why you should sell your home during the fall and winter
yeah,
months. So,
traditionally, some people seem to think that winter is not a good time to sell, and I think quite opposite. I think people like the way homes are decorated. I think they like the
smells,
way they smell, the way
yeah,
they're
it's
displayed,
new.
and they
Yeah.
can visualize themselves in the home. So we did a video on that. Look it up on our YouTube channel. It's a
I'll
great
link it.
little video there that will help you understand why, for us, the winter time is one of our favorite times to sell. So, in closing, we just rolled out our 2022 buyer and seller guides. They're available to you if you guys are interested in one. Please drop us a direct message, a DM in our Facebook, or you can drop us a direct message on our Instagram at Hector Sells Homes or Aguilar Realty Group, or even Ben Your Agent. We'll
Yes.
definitely email this. This is full of great information, market insights. Um, it's good for you to prepare yourself if you're a seller. It goes over tips, little tricks and tips that you can do to prepare your home for the market. If you're a buyer, it's going to tell you the tips and tricks that you need to do to prepare yourselves to buy a home this coming winter 2022. So I know we went over a lot. Hopefully it makes sense to you, and we appreciate you being on our channel and watching our video. Ben, certainly grateful for you always.
Thank you.
You asked the right questions, and I appreciate you. You're leading the video trainings that we're doing, and I'm grateful to you. And this is probably going to be the last video for 2021. We're going to take a couple weeks off, so that we can spend some time with family. I know Ben's going to travel this coming week. I'm going to travel next week, but we wanted to bring you this, where the market's heading in 2022, because we thought it was important to share it with you in preparation for early 2022. So once again, I'm Hector Aguilar,
I'm Ben, your agent.
and we're with the Aguilar Realty Group, brokered by eXp Realty. We look forward to talking to you soon. happy holidays to you all, and have a safe and happy new year as well. May 2022 be prosperous and a blessing to you and yours. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you, Hector. Take care,
Thank you, Ben.
everybody.